3, 2, 1. Proposition believes that in areas prone to disasters, states should prioritize disasters mitigation over relocation. By disasters mitigation, we refer to the efforts that we make to reduce the risk and impacts of disasters before they occur and harm many people. Disasters is a natural phenomenon that will happen in our nature sooner or later. It affects everyone, regardless of who the victim is. It cannot be removed completely or even be eliminated from this world, because it is an important part of this world that we need to improve and develop our systems, albeit it causing more harm to the general public. With disasters or catastrophe happening in our life and to homes, it could cause many losses to the society. Properties, jobs, environments, infrastructure, social ties, and even lives and health could be taken away with just one disaster that happens. This issue is important because millions of people around the world live in disaster-prone areas such as coastal regions, earthquake zones, and floodplains. Governments must decide whether they should help people stay safely in their homes or force them to move elsewhere. So in the speech, I will bring 3 arguments on the proposition side. In the first argument, disaster mitigation is a better solution than relocation because people do not have to spend additional costs of money and building houses, purchasing furnishing, and not every local community can pay the transportation fee. Relocation forces citizens to shoulder costs that many of them cannot afford with the lack of assets and money. Rebuilding from scratch means pushing them to debt and even poverty. So with disaster mitigation, people are more comfortable and make them feel that the government not only cares about the community but the environment too. Relocation can be postponed, and it's better to stay in one area rather than having to move from place to place. For example, it is more efficient to protect existing communities than to rebuild a whole new other one from nothing. Many areas with disaster mitigation have proven their homes are far safer than the ones without disaster mitigation. Second is to respect civil rights of residents. This is important so that people who live in areas prone to disasters can feel safe without having to move from their place. It is difficult to adapt in a new place after a hard time enduring and surviving the traumatic disaster. People could go insane after losing most of their belongings after years of working very hard to obtain what they achieved and securing it for all this time. They would be very devastated at the fact something that has been built for years after years could vanish in just one night. For instance, areas that are implemented with disaster mitigation are most likely to not experience calamity and far safer compared to areas with no mitigation measures. Relocation wastes money and tears apart communities. With disaster mitigation, areas prone to disasters can stay safe without forcing people to abandon their homes and livelihoods. They can face calamity and prevent destruction to their homes with the right preparation instead of running away from it. Third, disaster mitigation is considered a long-term solution because its main focus is not only responding to disasters after they happen, but also reducing risk before disasters occur. Through disaster education, evacuation training, and stronger buildings and environmental protection such as preserving forests and mangroves, communities become more prepared for future risks. The benefits are also long-lasting and can protect many generations for over time. Instead of constantly spending huge amounts of money on emergency response, mitigation helps reduce casualties, damages, and losses from the beginning. Therefore, mitigation is not just a temporary action but an important investment for a safer future. Disaster mitigation strengthens communities to face future tragedies and solve problems, not just to run and avoid it. And that creates another vulnerable area to the threat. Oppositions may think that relocation is far better than disaster mitigation. We agree, but it is less convenient than our arguments. Relocation costs billions, destroy communities, and often dump people into new problems with no jobs or services. Disaster mitigation does what relocation can't. It keeps people safe without tearing apart their homes, livelihoods, and identity. If the goal is to save lives and protect communities, then mitigation wins. because the point isn't to run from disaster. The point is to be strong enough to face it. In conclusion, opposition firmly believes that the state should prioritize disaster mitigation over relocation in disaster-prone areas. Disaster mitigation is more cost-efficient because it reduces the financial burden on citizens who may not be able to rebuild their lives in a new place. It also respects the civil rights of residents by allowing them to stay in their homes, maintain their livelihoods, and preserve their social and cultural connection. Most importantly, mitigation provides a long-term solution through education, stronger infrastructure, and environmental protection that can reduce the impacts of future disasters. Therefore, instead of forcing communities to leave their homes, governments should focus on creating safer and more prepared communities for a sustainable future. And that is all for me. Thank you.